Fantasy VII is a game that I've wanted to play for years. And when I say Final Fantasy VII, I of course mean Final Fantasy VII. The Final Fantasy VII remakes look so fun. The graphics look great, and the gameplay looks exactly like something I would love. And I wanted to play them without playing the original. I've mentioned this to a lot of people, both online, my friends, people in real life, and every single one of them says, stop, don't do that. You have to play the original before the remakes. And every single time I will follow it up with one simple question. Why? The responses I get can be anything from, oh, I can't tell you that, or oh, I can't tell you, it's a really big spoiler. But the main thing that they say is that the remakes are basically a sequel to the original Final Fantasy VII. Now, I have no idea what this could possibly mean. I mean, it's literally called Final Fantasy VII Remake, not Final Fantasy VII 2 or Final Fantasy VII Part 8 or something. I don't know. Why is it a sequel? As you can tell, I took the news very well. And with Part 3 of the remake on the horizon, I decided enough is enough. I'm gonna play Final Fantasy VII. This isn't my first time trying this approach. I've tried to play the original Final Fantasy VII a good 3 times. The other 2 times I've tried to play this game, I didn't get very far. I only made it to the Sector 7 slums. But this time is different. I've made it about 5 hours into the game. More specifically, I just made it to the point where Shinra destroys the pillar holding up the Sector 7 plate, destroying the entire town. So what's different this time, you might ask? Well, number 1, I've got way past that point. And number 2, I'm using mods. That's right. I'm a little baby and I struggle to play old games. I've tried multiple times to play games like Mario 64 or Xenosaga, but I just can't do it. So I've modernized Final Fantasy VII. Sue me. But I didn't want to change the game too much. Obviously, there was many quality of life things I wanted to change, like being able to play on 16:9 and 60 FPS and some enhanced textures. But there's nothing game-breaking in there. Like, for example, I still use the original audio. Sorry, all you FF7 purists, I just couldn't do it. Wanting to keep that original experience somewhat intact, I've only downloaded 12 mods. So from top to bottom, Avok ESUI enhances some of the textures. Gameplay tweaks I use for things like auto run. Enhanced stock UI makes some of the menus nicer. Cosmos FMV is to change some of the character models within cutscenes. I chose to still keep the chibi models though. Idle animations adds idle animations. 30-60 FPS adds 60 FPS. Avalanche Arisen battle textures changes some of the battle textures. The next 3 are all linked. Nino style battle, Nino style chibi fixes and additions. These are all updates to the character models. Again, still keeping it in the chibi style. Cosmos Limit Break enhances some of the background textures, and Cosmos Gaia allows me to move in 360 degrees of motion. So like I'm saying, there's nothing too game-breaking in there. So at this point, you might be wondering, what is this video even about? And if you've made it this far into the video, please drop a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. At the time of me making this video, I am very close to 20,000 subscribers, and I would really appreciate it if we could hit that. Anyway, back to Final Fantasy VII. I want to talk about the past, the present, and the future. The past being things I knew about Final Fantasy VII before playing the game, so things I've been spoiled on. The present, things that I've already experienced while playing the game. And the future, things that I predict are gonna happen in the game. So let's start with section 1, the past. I unfortunately know quite a bit about this game. I feel like Final Fantasy VII is kind of like the Empire Strikes Back of video games. I knew characters before going in, like I knew Cloud, obviously from Smash Bros. I knew Sephiroth, he's going to be the main villain, and I knew Tifa because she's really cool. And unfortunately, I know Aerith. Now, you might be wondering, why is that unfortunate? Okay, well, spoilers, although I assume if you're watching this video, you're already a fan of Final Fantasy VII. But I know that she dies. Now, not certain on when it happens or how it happens. I'm like 90% sure it's gonna be Sephiroth. I mean, I've seen the picture of her like kneeling down in like the flowers, but that's all I've seen. So unfortunately, I'm finding it kind of hard to connect to her character. If I know a character is gonna die, I just cannot get attached to them. But other than that, I pretty much knew nothing about the story going in. That's probably like the climax of the game, so it just kind of sucked that I know that, but what are you gonna do? I've also heard from many people that not only is it the best Final Fantasy game, people think it's the best turn-based RPG of all time. Now, I really don't think I'm gonna agree with that. I mean, come on, have you played Bowser's Inside Story? But nonetheless, people love this game. And they also say it's probably the best point to start with if you're new to the series. Which is not the case for me. I've played a Final Fantasy before. Granted, Final Fantasy 16, so it's very different than Final Fantasy 7 original. But I love Final Fantasy 16, man. The combat's so fun. Ben Starr gives an incredible performance performance. I've got like almost all the trophies. I think I'm missing one. I just need to do like a new game plus run through. So I'm used to the whole like 5 to 7 bad places in the world that are taking resources from the earth, so we gotta go destroy them because we want the earth to live type shit. Which moves us on nicely to the present. I had no idea what the main theme of Final Fantasy VII was gonna be. I didn't know about the Shinra organization. Hell, I didn't even know about the anti-capitalism themes. But I like it. I think the world is really cool. The city of Midgar really intrigues me. I can now see where a lot of people are getting their inspirations from. If you guys know Natural 6, I see now where they've gotten Baroon from. But I think it's really cool that we are here to stop it. Even if Cloud doesn't really care. Because I think deep down he does. Something that I cannot wait to be explored more is those random visions Cloud is having. Like the one he had when we were gonna go blow up Sector 5, I believe. And he saw Tifa with her father. Man, I just want to find out what's going on about that. I also want to find out more about the Ancients. I have no clue what that could be about. The Shinra guy who took Aerith, I think his name is Reno, said something about her being the last Ancient. And man, I just want to know what that means. Speaking of Reno, W segue, I'm enjoying the combat so far. I think turn-based combat is fun. Sometimes. You have to have a right balance. I like it, but I also can't play 5 games back-to-back only turn-based combat. Which is why I'm glad Final Fantasy VII is not just your standard turn-based combat. It has a bit of difference to it. With the whole active battle system and waiting for your turn, I think that's great. But I sometimes get way too burnt out on it. Like, for example, I was in the area of the train graveyard, and oh my god, I was stuck there for like so much longer than I had to be because the background textures are really hard to see, and I had to fight so many enemies. I was walking around trying to find what to do for so long. I had to look up a guide. And I found out I was being an idiot, so it's my fault. I don't blame the game for that. But still, I was getting kind of bored of the combat by that point. The limit breaks are so cool. I didn't know what they were going to be based on Cloud's Smash Bros. Kit, but I love the way that they've done them. I love Cloud's cross slash. It makes me think it's a reference to Xenogears, which is really interesting because the story of Xenogears was originally meant to be the story of Final Fantasy VII, but Square thought it was too dark. So Takahashi just went and made the game himself. He then went on to make the best games ever, Xenoblade Chronicles. Anyway, the gameplay in Final Fantasy VII is fun. I can't wait to unlock more characters. Speaking of, part 3, the future. As I said, I'm excited to unlock more characters, explore the world more, find out more of the secrets. But I want to theorize about what I think is going to happen in the story. I have no clue where the story is going to go. Please don't laugh at me in the comments, but here we go. So obviously, Shinra does not like the Ancients. I mean, they snatched up Aerith because they want to get rid of the race entirely. So the Ancients must have some sort of way to stop Shinra. Not sure exactly what that's going to be. Probably something to do with like the Earth. I don't know what the planet's called, but they can like resonate with the Earth and make it stop producing power. So I actually don't think they're going to demolish the entire city. I mean, they'll probably get rid of like the above plate, but I think they'll leave the slums below because I don't know, that seems like a lot of innocent people to kill. Also, where else will they go? Now, I'm not sure how Sephiroth is going to tie into this entire thing just yet. I know that he's like the top soldier ever, so I guess it will be fitting for him to shut down the terrorist organization. I don't know how he's going to become the main villain unless we deal with Shinra like really early on in the story. Or maybe because he's just really cool and strong, Sephiroth becomes the new president of Shinra. This next one's kind of a short-term goal, but I hope Barrett reunites with Marlene. I'm sure they will, because if Square said Xenogears was too dark, I don't think they just kill a child that we know like that. And I hope Cloud gives Barrett back his money. You robbed him, Cloud! He just wants to save the world and be a good dad, and you're asking for pay! Sorry, that bit annoyed me. I also want to find out more about Cloud's sword, the Buster Sword. I don't know if it's anything special, but he can't get any more items to replace it, and it just looks really cool. Surely it has to have some sort of meaning. Sorry, I am a big Xenoblade fan, so that explains my fascination with main character swords. But anyway, Final Fantasy VII is amazing, and I'm only like 5 hours in. I cannot wait to find out what happens next. In fact, I'm gonna go play it now. So if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Also, if you made it this far, comment, Cloud, you better give Barrett's money back, you deadbeat. Thanks for watching, guys, and let me know if you enjoy videos in this style, and I'll make some more soon. But I'll catch you on the flippity flop. Good night.